Welcome to Upticks. I'm Jake Falcon, the founder of Falcon Wealth Advisors and your host of Upticks. Today is episode 105, Options Trading 101. Okay, welcome back to the show. That's a lot of 105 and 101s there. But before I dive into today's topic, I hope that all of you out there are staying safe and healthy, and I'm hopeful that this pandemic surely will one day pass. For today's show, I wanted to talk about one of the ways that we help our clients manage concentrated stock, and that's through options trading. Now, before I dive into what options trading is on a very high level and in an educational manner, I want to caution you that this is not, and I repeat, not for the everyday average Joe investor to try to embark on themselves. In my opinion, it requires a trained professional such as myself and my team at Falcon Wealth Advisors to help assist you when you're doing options trading. It's a very advanced strategy. It can be a very beneficial strategy and can be used to protect your portfolio. But with that protection, there also is potential of risk, right? And so you want to be very careful and you want to understand what you are doing before you do it, because one slip up of a mis-keystroked order can potentially cost you a lot of money. So again, it's a complex strategy, it's advanced. It's something that we do for our clients a lot of at Falcon Wealth Advisors. It's a full-time job managing capital, in our opinion, and that's what we're trained to do, and that's what we do for our clients. Okay, so let's dive into it. So what is options trading? And you can think of options as, a fancy word for them would be a derivative contract. And what that really means is when you buy an option contract, it gives you the right to sell or buy a stock or a security at a certain price over a given time frame. And they're commonly referred to as calls and puts. And I'll go over what that means. So if you buy a call option on a stock, what you're doing is you're buying a contract that's traded at the Chicago Board of Options Exchange in Chicago. You're buying the right to buy somebody's shares from them at a certain price. Normally, somebody that's buying a call option is what we call bullish, or they think the stock is going to go up in value. So if a stock is trading at a price where you think it's cheap and you think it's going to go up, rather than just buying the stock outright, you typically can spend less money by buying the contract or the right to be able to purchase this stock at a future date, or any date, depending on when the contract expires. So if the contract's going to expire in 3 months, anytime between the day you buy the contract and the day it expires, you can buy the stock at the stated price. Again, people would buy call options if they think a stock is going to go up in value. Okay, the opposite of that would be buying a put option, right? And so buying a put option is simply the right to sell stock at a certain price over a given time frame. So you would buy a put if you were negative or if you were bearish on a stock. So you can also think of this as a form of insurance. So if you own a stock and you're scared that it may go down in value, but you don't want to sell it, maybe now for tax purposes, or maybe there's another reason that you can't sell it, you can buy a put option, which in essence will create a floor to be able to sell your stock. So if your stock goes to zero, and as long as the contract is still effective or hasn't expired, you can still sell your stock at the stated price. Okay, so those are two very basic forms of options. One is the call option, and if you buy the option, what you're saying is you want to be able to buy a stock at a lower price than you think the stock is going to ultimately achieve. And if you buy a put option, you want to be able to sell your stock at a higher price than where you think that stock is headed. Okay, and not to confuse things too much on this episode of Upticks, but you also, rather than just being able to buy options, you can also sell options. Okay, so when you sell an option, let's just use the call, for example, You can think of it as the opposite of buying the call, right? So if you sell a call, you are selling the right for someone to buy your shares. And you would do this if you thought the stock may potentially go down in value or if you were bearish. And then you could also sell a put if you think a stock is going to go up. So basically someone would reserve the right to sell you their stock, at a lower price when you think it's going to go up in value. Are you confused yet? It is a very confusing strategy. In fact, on the Series 7 exam, it is probably regarded as one of the most complicated portions of the test. So if you think about it, what I've just explained are 4 different strategies, all within options. And what we do is we manage concentrated stock for our clients. And what we will do, rather than just simply buying or selling the stock, we'll use options contracts to either protect the client or expose the client or whatever they want to see, whether they're bullish or bearish, whether they think the stock is going to go up or down, whether they want just outright insurance, right? There are multiple strategies that we can deploy to protect their concentrated position. And ultimately, options trading can serve as some sort of forced diversified strategy to help an individual maintain discipline when they're looking at unwinding a concentrated stock position. Now, you don't need to have a concentrated stock position in order to trade options. What I'm suggesting is at Falcon Wealth Advisors, that's how we prefer to use options for our clients that have a concentrated stock position. In fact, it's what we do a lot of at Falcon Wealth Advisors for our clients. So you may have worked at your company for 20 or 30 or 40 years, and you may have been awarded bonuses in the form of company stock. Well, as you prepare for retirement, we find that a prudent investment portfolio would not make up more than 20% of any one stock. However, if you've worked at a company that's done very well over the years, your portfolio may be represented by 50, 60, or 90% of your portfolio may be in one stock. Well, that's what we classify as a concentrated position. And in our opinion, it might be time to look at using an option strategy to help get diversified or at a minimum, help protect your nest egg. Okay, so this is just part 1 in a multiple series where I'm going to be discussing how to manage concentrated stock. One way that we do it is by using stock options or calls and puts. And a very, very important disclosure is this is not something I would recommend you go out and do on your own. And it's not only for concentrated stock positions. In fact, we use calls for many of our clients in their stock portfolios that we manage for them. And we particularly favor, in some instances, selling covered calls to generate income for a retiree. But you can also sell puts and generate income as well. So there's not only one way to go about doing this, is my point. My point is it pays to work with a competent, fiduciary-minded wealth advisor that has a track record of using options for their clients, and they can explain it in a language that you can understand. Okay, good. So that's Options 101. Certainly, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out to me. My email address is simply jake@falconwealthadvisors.com. You can reach me at my office. We've got team members, and we can set up a one-on-one session with you to see if stock options is something that makes sense for you, your financial plan, and your portfolio. And certainly if you're following us on social media, we're out there on all the major platforms. So I'm on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. If you're listening to this on your favorite podcast platform, I want to appreciate you for listening and thank you very much. Please be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss another episode of Upticks. And if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you so much. A thumbs up would be greatly appreciated. As for fun topics, much of the same in the Falcon household. Rachel and I have been doing some things around our landscaping, so I'm really excited. Actually, today they were removing some trees that have become overgrown in our yard. We're looking at planting some more trees and getting some more sunlight on our backyard so that our grass grows a little bit better. So that's been a lot of fun to see that take shape. I'm continuing reading some books. Stay tuned on that. I'm getting close to finishing up a few of them. So I'll be probably pushing out some book reviews very soon. And in the meantime, I hope that all of you, of course, are staying safe and healthy, and that you have a great week.